Good morning, my lovelies, and it's a slightly damp Easter Monday, and I'm in Boo, and we're off to the Yard of Dreams. Twat. Absolute joy. Look at that, my loves. Isn't that lovely? Okay, the rain has become officially biblical. Goodness me. We salute you, our fallen brother. Here we go. And there's Manchester. Good morning, Jesus. How are you? It's only polite, isn't it? It's the most Heath Robinson bloody tripod arrangement.
Yeah, but it worked.
I've ever seen in my life.
It sort of worked.
Hello, my lovelies. You join me here in the lockup of dreams, and welcome to this behind the scenes video where we're going to see exactly what goes on behind the scenes of a Project Nigel test drive video.
That's a good idea. Yes, good idea indeed. What the fuck now?
Now, the beginnings to any successful test drive and review video are to A, pour boiling water over your right foot,
Yeah.
and B, make a cup of tea.
Yeah. Where the tea bag goes to.
He's getting too close.
Hang on, I don't really wait just yet. The YouTube channel's not any good, but he's a nice guy. I'm sorry, Mr. Boaty.
To make YouTube videos with...
Oh, you had me at YouTube videos. Let's go, Boaty.
purpose there.
Started well. Now I could at this point out that in a previous video where he was test driving a Freelander 2, he said that he liked the original Freelander 1 but that he hated the facelift because it went through life doing that.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's true though, isn't it?
Okay, as you were.
Yeah. Except for its face, where it looks to about a nose stop. That's not what I normally do. I don't normally find myself giggling up. Where this looks like it's on a nose stop that's horribly wrong. Don't do that bit again without laughing.
Yeah. We don't want to break the habit of a lifetime and have anybody laughing in one of your videos.
Not sure why. Maybe they didn't think the car was long enough, so they give it another 3 or 4 inches sticking out their front. Headlamps, of course, look at well, it's a bit more purposeful than this is a dipping bit at the bottom. Why it's more purposeful? I don't know when you get the weird roll up or not. So this one's about 40 miles. Door closed, and now 17 foot with it open. Brilliant. Perhaps shouldn't have parked over the puddle. I was kind of tempted to climb in there, but I get dirty feet. I would be tempted to climb into this boot just to see whether it is big enough to fit me in with the boot closed. Ah, bollocks. Start that again. I would be very tempted to climb in the back of it to see if the boot is commodious enough to contain me with the door closed, but I'm a bit worried I might get stuck in there, locked in there. Pardon, that's a joke. I suggested I best not mention it now. Work you down, Colin. Yeah, let's just get me on. Oh, come on. Why am I so out of focus? It feels like a Land Rover. Land Driver. It feels a bit like a Land Rover to drive, actually, which is surprising. And you know why? Because when I drove the Freelander 2, I said it was a bit generic, I think, whereas this feels a bit more like a Land Rover. You've got to be a bit more careful with the way you choose your gears, especially being as the other one was an automatic and I didn't have to do any of that stuff. It's quick, isn't it?
No. No, it's really not.
What's that behind us? It pulls very nicely actually for its size. Doesn't it? It is nice being in what feels more like a proper off-road where it doesn't look too big from the outside, but you're sat quite high up, and you're sat high up, the scuttle is quite low down, so you just see this big bonnet right in front of you that you can easily see over the edge of. Lovely big clamshell bonnet. I am very much a fan of the big clamshell. It's a lovely thing to what are you laughing at? It's a lovely thing to look over. A lovely thing to load it over your own bonnet and enjoy the performance of the M47 engine with approximately 115 brake horsepower.
110.
If it had 115 horsepower, it would feel really quick, but it doesn't. It has a bit less, apparently. The gear change is a bit. It doesn't feel that rovery actually. The gearbox. Has it got a different gearbox in this to what they have in the other Rovers? Boaty, mate?
Yeah. Across the Rover group, every vehicle has its own gearbox. They don't have one that they all share, because then only one car would be able to be driven at a time. Whereas if each vehicle has a gearbox of their own,
yes,
then they can all be used independently.
That is a very, very helpful answer, that, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's not the same gearbox that's used in the Rover 75, that's what I'm saying. So they don't feel the same. Clutch is much lighter. Gears are a bit more. They need a bit more sticking in gear, don't they?
Do you know, I've never driven a manual 75.
Have you not?
Oh, well, I've got a ZT.
It's almost the same thing.
Right.
It's just heavier. None of them are that great.
I find the clutch on this to be exceptionally light.
It is light. That's what I mean. It's very easy to use, but the gears, you need to get the clutch properly engaged before you can change gear, because otherwise it feels like it's going to shout at you for not being careful.
Well, that's how manual gearboxes work. You do have to use the clutch in order to change gear. If you didn't have to use the clutch, then your forward motion would kind of not happen because you'd have no drive.
Without you here, I don't know what I'd say. I wouldn't know where to go with this. It's so helpful. Well, the question is it a likeable car? Do I like driving it? And the answer is, I might like it more if I didn't have this man next to me. What do you reckon to that?
I reckon that for what is a very, very capable off-road vehicle, it's surprisingly well mannered on the road, and it's quite a relaxed vehicle, quite a nice long distance touring vehicle, because it does ride so very, very well, largely due to the 17-inch quims.
Yes, indeed. It does have a kind of effortless feel to the way it drives it. It's very smooth. It's not a sports car, but it's happy to go around the corners, provided you don't ask it to do it too quickly. That is my assumption. And it's a very relaxed drive as well. I have absolutely no interest whatsoever in seeing whether this car is quick or indeed aggressive on the corners, because it just doesn't encourage that kind of thing. It's the kind of car you just take for a walk on its wheels.
The 17-inch Quims.
17-inch Quims, as you keep saying. Which I did have a Google search for, I couldn't find More to add, the seats are comfortable. The steering is nice.
They're jolly supportive, aren't they, the seats?
Yeah. I mean, they've been encouraging me throughout, and the overall manners of this car are very, very good. Yes, it's the kind of car you could invite to a party and it won't embarrass you, and that's because of its classless nature. Even with a Freelander, it's still the kind of car that anybody could buy. Don't pull your face at me like that, Bert. That only just occurred to me that we are Bert and Ernie. Never mind hinge and bracket.
I quite liked hinge and bracket. I thought that was a good one.
It is a bit like driving a van though, isn't it?
Have you noticed that the clutch engages almost seamlessly? There doesn't seem to be an exact bite point. You mean it's smooth?
More
than smooth, that you change gear, but at no point do you actually realise exactly where the bite point was.
Right.
And that's because it uses quite a complex twin plate clutch system, as well as the physical coupling is the moistened beaver.
Yeah, a dual mass.
A dual mass moist beaver. Yeah,
that's right. That's what it is. It's because otherwise you'd have a very jerky feeling with the clutch. You can actually swap this dual mass for a less troublesome solid clutch, but it can make your gearbox break because there's too much torque transfer going on too quickly, and it makes it less pleasurable to use. At least it does until it stops working.
I love that one.
How did you manage to turn it into purr?
it's a skill.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're missing out. Are we doing a live stream when we get in there?
Yeah.
Let's do it. From the caravan?
Yeah.
One successful test drive over without anybody running into the back of us.
Thank you. Right, before you go, yeah. So, aside from the video, what do you actually think of it? What are your genuine thoughts?
I like it, but I think I prefer the one.
This is a one.
Yeah, I mean the one pre-facelift.
Why?
This one does feel like it's had another car manufacturer interfere a bit, trying to make it better, but kind of not doing.
I think they made it a lot better.
Well, then we disagree.
before...
We shouldn't go to bed on an argument.
Well, we're not going to bed yet. Before BMW got involved, it was a lot more problematical than it turned out to be. Before BMW got involved, it wasn't put together terribly well.
There might be a bit of that, but we know how good a BMW job did on reducing quality of things across the range.
They did that with Land Rover.
They might not have done it quite as much with Land Rover, but they certainly did with Rover.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
there's
they
a
didn't.
cat.
Where?
Up there, doing cat things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but they didn't have the same interest in Rover that they did in Land Rover, did they?
No.
In fact, why are we talking about BMW?
What, rather than Ford?
Yeah.
Because you mentioned, and that's why.
BMW had nothing to do with this.
No, Ford had something to do with this one.
Yeah, Ford owned it.
But BMW had something to do with the original. They were there. They didn't actually design it though.
No, it was a Land Rover design. And yeah, and then BMW sold it to Ford, didn't they? So,
which is why, I suppose, which is why they stopped putting the L series in and replaced it for the M47.
which is a better unit.
No, it's not.
Well, it is though.
But
Why is the L series better?
it's more agricultural.
Correct.
Yeah, this is an agricultural vehicle.
Except it wasn't though, was it?
No, it wasn't. No, it was an agricultural vehicle. It does have some of that feel about it still, though. It, you know, like the Freelander 2 just feels like a car to drive. That's the difference.
I've never driven one.
But this doesn't. It still has. It still feels a bit like it's made for green laning and being off road. So it's not as. It doesn't have that same kind of.
Your dad's Freelander, the one you drove. Is that 4-wheel drive?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Of course, they're all 4-wheel drive.
No.
They are. There's just they're not permanent 4-wheel drive.
How much do you want to bet?
Why would I want to bet that?
Well, because you seem quite certain.
But that they didn't do a front-wheel drive only version of it.
That's what you seem quite certain of.
Yeah.
So do you want to bet?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, how much?
Blowjob?
No. because I know that I'm going to win because I've done my research.
On the Discovery, not the Freelander.
Yeah.
Not any of the ones that come afterwards.
Eh?
Right, the ones that look a bit like Freelanders, but aren't Freelanders.
Freelander 2. The bet is, were Freelander 2s all 4-wheel drive? That's the bet.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that no, they weren't.
Right, well then I'm saying they are.
And so now we need to decide what the bet is for. Not a blowjob because I don't want one.
I don't want one.
Well, let's not make that
Well,
the bet then.
I do actually.
Well, yeah, just not from me.
Oh, I'm not really that fussy.
Oh, God.
Apparently Freddie Mercury was really good at them.
Would you let a bloke do that to you?
No. Would you?
No.
Right.
Would you use a glory hole if you weren't certain whether the person on the other side was a male or female?
What a tough and interesting question.
Thank you. And this is why I was chosen by ITV to take over from Michael Parkinson. Boaty, asking the questions that Parky never dared.
Yeah.
But just to put you right on the Freelander 2, not all 4-wheel drive.
You can't say anything without me doubting it.
They were the first vehicle ever offered by Land Rover in 2-wheel drive only.
Let's find out.
I love being right. And I'm going to enjoy this.
Oh, can't be reached. Why can't it be reached? Hang on.
Well, good afternoon, and welcome to this episode of Boaty Was Right All Along.
Well, okay, so they did make one, alright?
We knew that, didn't we, viewers?
But I've not driven one.
Oh, well, so if you've not driven it, it can't possibly exist.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
There's your keys.
thank you.
Fuck off.
You'd better not have moved my seat.
Oh, I did a bit.
God's sake.
I'm just not quite as lanky as you.
Bloody
I'm
short
a
ass.
reasonably tall man who's not freakish.
It's just coming up on 8:30. There's a bit of light left in the sky, and that means I'll have a couple of hours to chill out and relax before Monday night's live stream at 11 o'clock. As always, thank you so much for your company today. It's always much more fun when you're with me, and I hope you've enjoyed watching some parts, if not all, of this video. So, you all be sure to take care of yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you next time. There we are. Okay, good night, my lovelies. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Boats would like to express his heartfelt appreciation to his amazing channel members: Alan Searle, Project MGTF, Rose_CH Peach Peach KS, Chef_Daniel, The Greenwood, Typhoon Cat, Richard Mann, Dinosaur Dad, GPSOMG, Car Crazy Norwegian, Trisha Alderman, Black Lines, Classic Wheels Wales, and Chaz Brown. Your support means the world to him. You're all fucking legends, and he thanks you from the heart of his bottom.